Good morning, USA. Welcome back to our first day back in the good old US of A. If you didn't watch my last video, maybe this is your first time here. My name is Ryan Toomey. I live in the back of my self-converted camper van. Currently, I am on a road trip from Key West, Florida, all the way up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. And yesterday, we crossed the Canadian-Alaskan border into Alaska, and we camped out at this rest stop last night. And this morning, I was gonna cook eggs and bacon and pancakes, but I don't know how I missed it. I don't have any eggs, I don't have any bacon, and I don't have any pancakes. I guess I just lost track of how much supplies I had, but we settled for some oatmeal and some grapes, and I saved this grape specifically for you guys, because look how absolutely massive that grape is. Looks like a grape pumpkin. But today, we are finishing up our final 3 hours of the Alaskan Highway. So far, we've driven 30 plus hours on this highway, and it feels good that we're gonna finish it today. And since we have now made it to Alaska, I think one of the first things that I'm gonna do when I get to Fairbanks is go drive around until I find somewhere that's selling Alaskan king crab, because that is what I wanna cook tonight for dinner in honor of finally making it here. And also, along with losing track of what groceries I had, I also lost track of what day it is. And today I was looking at my phone and I realized today's the 4th of July. So what better day to make it back to America than today? Now that we've had breakfast, I'm gonna take my Starlink down, and then we're hitting the road. Also, it rained last night. Starlink got filthy. Another thing, I'm out of paper towels, so I have been drying my hands and wiping things down with toilet paper, because that's all I have. Clean her off a little bit. Beautiful. So with having been on the road for the last 10 days, kind of in the middle of nowhere, there's not very many options for showers. And I have taken head showers and outdoor showers and have rinsed off after jumping in hot springs, but I haven't had myself a proper shower in probably 10 days. And that is by far the longest I've gone. Typically, with normal everyday living in a van, I get a shower once a day, almost once every other day. But out here, it's just not as easy. First thing we're gonna do when we get to Fairbanks is find a store that's one open, which I'm not sure there will be because of the holiday, and get us some king crab to cook for dinner tonight. And then I'm gonna find somewhere to get myself a proper shower. And before I leave, I'm gonna throw this trash out. Also, I said about a month ago that I wasn't going to be cutting my hair until I made it to Alaska, and we have made it to Alaska. So technically, I'm allowed to get my hair cut today. Honestly, the longer hair is kind of growing on me. We'll see how I feel after I shower. So I preloaded up the GPS to take me up to Fairbanks and Interior Alaskan Fish Processing Center. I don't really know. Apparently they have Alaskan king crab. I don't know if it's out of season right now or if they'll have it at the moment, but we got about 3 hours and 14 minutes until we get there according to the GPS. So it is time for one last drive. Beautiful. We have officially made it to the end of the Alaskan Highway. There's the sign right there. From here, we are on the Richardson Highway, but we have officially completed our journey of driving from Key West, Florida, all the way up to the top of the Alaskan Highway, and man, does it feel good. Don't know what this is. I'm guessing it's some sort of historic building. Not too sure, but this is it. The end of the Alaskan Highway, now entering the Richardson Highway. So right up there where it turns off is where the Alaskan Highway ends. I will say it is a pretty uneventful ending place. There's just kind of a large cell tower and then this rest stop, but it does feel good to finally be at the end. We still got about 45 minutes, maybe an hour to Fairbanks, and then we're gonna hang out there, probably stealth camp somewhere in the city tonight, and then wake up tomorrow and we're tackling one of North America's most dangerous highways, the Dalton Highway. So there we go, they got this little marker here and then a little thing about Delta Junction. Apparently the highway cost $115 million and was built by 15,000 men, There you go, mile 1422, end of the Alaskan Highway. And I guess these are the different pipeline sizes on the different highways. So when we're driving down the Dalton Highway up to Prudhoe Bay, this is the size of the pipeline that kind of goes from Dalton Bay down to Fairbanks. Pretty interesting. See what they got in the visitor center. Hello. All right, so I got myself a few stickers, a postcard to send to my girlfriend, and then a t-shirt. And I guess it kind of makes sense that there's not really here at the Alaskan Highway, because there's not too many people that I guess drive it or come through, because in reality it doesn't really make much sense for anyone to want to drive 1,400 miles up to the end of the world, where all there is kind of more wilderness, and then up to Prudhoe Bay all it is a gas processing and drilling plant. And it sounds cliche, but the type of people that want to do this kind of drive, it's more so about the journey than the destination, because the drive up here has been absolutely spectacular. It is probably the most fun that I've had since I moved into the van, and some of the most amazing landscapes, so I don't regret it one bit. But I'm gonna take this sticker, end of the Alaskan Highway sticker, and add it to my sticker collection on the back of this cabinet. I think you can go right there. Perfect. All right, let's finish out this drive, get up to Fairbanks, get some crabs, and a nice hot shower. Oh, and across the street over here, they have some of the old remnants from when the World War II soldiers came up here and built it. That's what they were driving. And it wasn't paved back then. Very, very impressive feat of human engineering to finish this in only 9 months. And admittedly, it was just kind of a path, blazed through the forest with kind of no planning and no regard for where they were going, but they still did it. So, it is time to say goodbye to the Alaskan Highway and hello to Fairbanks in about an hour. All right, so we've made it to Fairbanks and we are almost at that fish supply store. And there's really not that many places in Fairbanks that we could potentially get these crab legs. So I'm hoping this place is open, but with it being the afternoon and the 4th of July, I don't know if it will be. And I'm also hoping the same thing about the gym. Online it says it's open 24 hours a day, but again, with the 4th of July, I just don't know if they'll actually be open today. But hopefully they are. And it looks like they are indeed closed. That's no fun. All right, I'm gonna head over to a local grocery store and see if they maybe have something there, or we might just have to get some legs from the grocery store. Hopefully they have them here. Wow, this place is huge. I thought it was just a grocery store. It's like an upscale Walmart. So it doesn't look like they have any legs, but they do have some whole Dungeness crabs. Maybe we'll try that. How's it going? Do you guys have snow crab legs at all? Okay, I'll just get 2 of the Dungeness crab then. Thank you very much. Have a good one. So no snow crabs, but we got 2 Dungeness crabs that we're gonna cook up. All right. We've got everything we need to make some dinner, and this should be a fairly easy dinner tonight, considering I'm from Maryland, and I think these are pretty similar to how you cook and eat Maryland crabs, just they are a lot bigger. Wow, those are some mean looking guys. But of course we had to get Old Bay, which I'm now realizing that I think I have in my cabinet. Yep, I 100% do, so I do need to get that. But we got some of that, some horseradish sauce. We're gonna steam these boys up tonight. And I also got some local Alaskan IPAs because it is the 4th of July, so why not? So I got all the stuff put in the fridge, and tonight's campsite I think is gonna be a good old fashioned Camp Walmart. And we're about 10 minutes away, so it's not too far. And we have made it to our campsite. Looks like we're being joined by quite a few other campers in the lot. And that's a sick looking RV. That's cool. But fun fact, I actually didn't know this until I looked it up because they were at the other grocery store and I was wondering. There's all these pillars all over the parking lot with plugs in them, like you can plug an extension cord into. And when I was walking around And looking at some of the cars, they just have like extension cords sticking out of the grill from the front of their car. And I looked it up, and it's for the winter time. So when they come and they park in places like this, they can plug their car in and heat their engine block so that they can start it when they get back out of the store. So that just goes to show you how cold it does get up here in the wintertime. I don't know if they're on right now. They're probably not, so I don't think I can plug into one. Not that I would really need to anyways, but just thought it was interesting. I'm also kind of hoping that we might be able to see some fireworks from the parking lot tonight, but I don't even know if fireworks like that are legal in Alaska. But before we cook any crabs, grab myself one of these Alaskan beers. There we go. Beautiful. So apparently the way that most crabs are kind of given to you in Alaska is they're fully cooked. So these Dungeness crabs are actually fully cooked, and they have this weird like hair on the bottom that's kind of off-putting. They're not the same as Maryland crabs, and they're way bigger. Very excited to eat it though. So first thing we gotta do in order to prepare these crabs, grab the largest pot that I have, which actually doesn't fit the crabs. Maybe we'll try this one. All right, so I'm just gonna cook them one at a time, but because only one fits in the pan that I have, and this is the largest pot that I have. So that's just what we're gonna have to do. So I'm just gonna fill this up as high as it goes with water, and then once we get that boiling, we'll throw the crabs in, let them cook, and then add our seasoning. Can't forget to salt the water. And now we'll just wait for that to come to a boil. Also, my girlfriend FaceTimed me, so she is spectating as I cook these beautiful Dungeness crabs.
Joe Bean.
And that is her cat, Bean. Wonderful little kitty. All right, so this water is just about boiling, and I decided to do 2 pots just so I can get both of them boiling at the same time. And since they're fully cooked, it doesn't really matter. This is just to kind of warm them up. It doesn't necessarily matter if they're fully covered, so I'm gonna stuff this one in there, and then once that one's boiling back there, we'll stuff the other one in there, and then while those are kind of warming through, we'll start melting the butter and getting all of the different sauces for the crabs ready to go. I also had to change once I started getting this water boiling because it got really hot in the back of the van. And I actually put up this sunscreen right here because the sun is coming in directly from this way, and it helps keep this cab area a little bit cooler and cool off the rest of the van, but it's still pretty hot back here. So both of these pots are boiling. Go ahead and throw these crabs in there. Ooh. Let those get nice and warm through. And this back one barely fits in there. I kind of got to shove it down to get it to go under. So now that we've got both of our crabs boiling in the water, we'll wait for those to get back to a boil, then we'll take them off the heat. And I think I'm just going to set them on this like oven mitt over here off to the side so that I can free up these burners and start melting up the butter and all the other sauce that I'm going to use to eat these bad boys. And also, I forgot to mention, I didn't go to Planet Fitness to take a shower because I called them and no one answered, so I just kind of assumed that they were closed. So I think I might try to go tomorrow morning before I head out on the Dalton Highway, but I haven't really decided yet. It kind of depends on what the weather's looking like tonight, because if it's supposed to rain tomorrow, I might hold off driving down the Dalton Highway until the day after tomorrow, but it kind of depends. We'll see. I'm giving myself 4 days to drive it, so it's 11 hours from here up to Prudhoe Bay, which is the entirety of the Dalton Highway, and then obviously 11 hours back. So I'm thinking I could drive 5 or 6 hours, find somewhere to camp off the highway, drive the next 5 hours the next day, camp in Prudhoe Bay, and then kind of just repeat the process on the way back, camping along the way. So that's the plan. Don't know if that's actually what's gonna happen, but we will see. All right, so these should be good to move off to the side over here. Then we can take this burner, throw some butter in there, let that melt down. And then while we're waiting for that to melt, I'll get out my lemon juicer. We'll juice up one of these lemons. So I think we're actually only gonna need probably half of this lemon, and I'll save the other half for some slices for when we're eating. There we go. Fresh lemon juice. And now that we've got our butter nice and melted, take some of this Old Bay, add that in there, and I like Old Bay, so I'm gonna add a lot. We can mix that up. And that is gonna be what we dip our crabs in once we extract all the meat from them. And I'm very excited. I haven't had crabs since I was back in Maryland. So this will be a nice treat. Although I am used to them being cooked from raw, but I guess you gotta get them pretty fresh, straight from the water in order to do that. So we'll take what we can get out here. Maybe once we get down to Anchorage and down to the coast, we'll be able to get some more fresh seafood. The only other sauce I gotta make is some cocktail sauce. And for that, we're just gonna add a little bit of this horseradish paste that I bought, squirt some ketchup, mix that together, and that is a nice, quick, easy cocktail sauce to dip the crab in. Also, completely forgot, add the lemon juice into this butter mixture. That's pretty much it. We got everything prepared in order to eat the crabs. Now we just gotta wait 5 to 7-ish minutes for those to warm up all the way through. All right, so I think these crabs should be just about done. And that first part was actually the easy part of the recipe, because now we gotta get all the meat out. So I don't have the proper cardboard paper that you would normally have if you were doing something like this. So I'm just gonna line this table with paper towels and hope that that does the trick. Gotta make sure to drain all that excess water out of them, or else they'll really be a mess. Let's get to cracking. Start off with the legs. Rip those off. Do that to both of them. Woo! Oh, that guy still has a bunch of water in him. That's why you gotta drain them. Alright, now that we got all the legs off, get some fresh paper towels on here. But before we start on the legs, we're gonna get the meat out of these shells. So you just kind of tear them open like this, and they look pretty nasty on the inside. So you can't eat these lungs. Take those off. They're on both sides. Or I guess the gills, I don't know what they are. Lungs, they breathe air. And some people will like stuff the meat into the shell and eat it out of the shell, but I personally don't like to do that, so I just put the lungs in there, set that aside, and then we can get all the meat out of this body. I've never actually had Dungeness crab, so I'm interested to see how it tastes compared to a Maryland crab. Definitely can't be afraid to get your hands a little dirty if you're gonna eat crabs. It is a very unfriendly process extracting all the meat, and I am definitely not doing a very pretty job of doing it. That is all the meat we collected from the body. I will move those aside and start getting it out of the legs. And honestly, the legs are my favorite part because you get nice big chunks of meat out of them. But I don't have a crab cracker, so I can't really do it perfectly. But we're gonna do the best we can. I can also very faintly hear fireworks going off in the background, but I can't imagine they're too spectacular when it's still that light outside. All right, I think that is all of the meat we're gonna extract out of 2 of these crabs. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, then we're eating. So I didn't get too many solid pieces of meat there because I was kind of haphazardly ripping them out of their shells without the correct tools. So we did what we could with what we had. Squeeze some lemon juice on there, a little bit of dill weed. And there you go. Nice little crab feast in the van to celebrate making it to Alaska. Delicious. Oh, so good. Fun fact, actually, crab is my favorite food on the planet. There truly is nothing that tastes as good as crab dipped in butter, coated in Old Bay, fresh out of the ocean. Or, I guess in my case back home, out of the bay. I wish we were able to find some Alaskan king crab, but I am definitely not complaining because this is absolutely delicious. Also, I was thinking about it, once I get down to Anchorage, I might try to go out on a charter boat or reach out to someone and do some sort of catch and cook while I'm down there. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. All right, dinner and crabs were delicious, but I have an absolute mountain of dishes that I have to do now. And it is already getting late, and I potentially am going to be waking up early tomorrow to go drive on one of the scariest highways in North America. So I'm gonna get these dishes done and then maybe run inside to Walmart, grab some supplies, some food for the 4-day journey on the Dalton Highway, and then get myself a good night's rest. So as always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. And I will catch you guys next time on the Dalton Highway.